Oh, yes. Hello there. We're back again. This is now Unit 3, and as I promised you, it's a very delicious topic. We're talking about eating. And again, here is our title page, and our title is Living to Eat or Eating to Live. You're probably now used to the progression of exercises in every unit. We begin with a conversation, this time shopping. Nancy and Andrew are shopping. We're going to do that. Then we have a presentation. This time it's advice about healthy eating. We're going to be doing contexts in a restaurant. And finally, we'll be doing recipes. Again, a very delicious task at the end. At the bottom of our page, we have a nice quotation. Tomatoes and oregano make it Italian. Tarragon makes it French. Sour cream makes it Russian. Lemon and cinnamon make it Greek. Soy sauce makes it Chinese. Garlic makes it good. Alice May Brock, an American author, again giving the idea there are different kinds of food, different parts of the world. And in part 2 of this unit, we'll be looking at regional food. But we're going to begin now our lecture by looking at a picture. A happy picture, a happy scene. A group of people together. Well, what are these people doing? I would say they're having a nice meal together. What is their relationship? I think you would guess it's a family get-together. And so they're enjoying food. Food is a social thing. It's not just for nutrition. It's also a case for getting together. We're going to be talking about food in this, and we begin by shopping. This is the situation for our conversation. Our conversation, here we have Nancy. You remember Nancy, the teacher. And here is her husband, Andrew, and they're pushing their shopping cart. And they're at a special line, or lane as we sometimes call it. If you look up there, you see it says Express. Express meaning very fast. 10 items or less. Well, that means they're in the wrong line. So they better turn around and go somewhere else. So today's conversation is about shopping. Notice at the bottom they say the supermarket in the picture has an express line. And we just mentioned it means fast. If you have few items, you can go through fast. Andrew and Nancy are at the front of the line. What are they buying? We'd say they're buying groceries. What mistake do they make? They go to the express line. I say lane. In our book they use line. Both are possible. And so they're in the wrong place. They're in the wrong line. All right, we move on, as we always do, to our vocabulary in this unit. The vocabulary. Vocabulary for the conversation. These are vocabulary that you should become well acquainted with and be at ease with. And you should, okay, there we go. We have nouns, aisle. I think I got to straighten this up a little here. Okay. Of nouns, we have aisle. Notice A-I-S-L-E, but the S is silent. Groceries and pound. Produce. Notice it's a noun, therefore not produce, but produce. Get used to that. You will hear it in the conversation. Quart, which at the bottom they tell you a measure of volume. Here in Saudi Arabia, people use a liter. Quart is used in quarts and gallons, are used in the English-speaking world. And then we have a very healthy substance called tofu, made from soya. A verb is to take checks, here meaning the checks for money. Some places take checks, others don't. And our expression is in line. So let's now do the vocabulary. Number 1, cherries are pretty cheap now. They cost $1.89 a. Choose the correct item, you think. Number 2, my son likes milk a lot. He drinks a of milk every day. 3, you can pay with cash or a credit card, but this market doesn't. 4, I hate frozen or canned vegetables and fruit. I only eat fresh Number 5, I just spent $90 on, last time I spent $85. Food is really expensive here. 6 is a short conversation. Excuse me, where is the bread? It's in blank 4. 7, the market was very crowded. I had to wait for 15 minutes to pay. And 8, people who don't eat meat often cook with. All right, let's look at the solutions. I hope you chose these as the solutions. In the first one, $1.89 a pound. He drinks a quart of milk. Yeah, let me square that up for you. Okay. To pay with checks. The market doesn't take checks. Number 3. Number 4, I hate frozen, so I eat fresh produce. Remember again, produce refers to fruits and vegetables. Number 5, $90 on groceries. Things we buy from the supermarket are groceries. Most of it is food. Number 6, aisle 3, the places where you walk in a supermarket are the aisles. Number 7, the market was crowded. I had to wait in line. And finally, number 8, if you don't like meat, you can cook with tofu. Tofu has high protein, so it's a good meat substitute. Now you're going to hear the conversation in order to try and answer these extensive questions. We're not doing intensive. We'll do that later. Number 1, listen to see what are Andrew and Nancy discussing. 2, why is Andrew buying so much food? And 3, why can't Andrew and Nancy use the express line? Listen to the conversation, and then we'll be practicing it as an intensive exercise. Okay, so let us get started here. Andrew. Well, I got a few groceries that aren't on the list. Nancy. I can see that. We're not shopping for an army, you know. Andrew. I always do this when I'm hungry. Nancy. Well, let's see what you have here. Andrew. Some nice fresh strawberries for only $1.79 a pound. Nancy. Nancy. Well, that's fine. They always have nice produce here. But why do you have all these cookies? Andrew. Don't you like them? Nancy. Oh, I don't know. I hope you got a box of tofu. Andrew. I think I forgot. Where's the aisle with the Asian foods again? Nancy. Aisle 3. Andrew. I'll go get it. Nancy. Wait, this steak you got looks really expensive. Andrew. Well, it isn't. It's on sale for just $3.99 a pound. Nancy. And what's this? More ice cream? We already have a quart. Why don't you put it back? Meanwhile, I'll get in line right here. Cashier. I'm sorry, miss. This is the express line, and it looks like you've got more than 10 items. Oh, and we don't take checks here. All right, let's go back to our questions from listening. You should be able to answer number 1. What are Andrew and Nancy discussing? Well, they're discussing food, shopping for food or shopping for groceries. Number 2, why is Andrew buying so much food? You should have heard that he's hungry. Always dangerous to go shopping for food when you're hungry. And number 3, why can't Andrew and Nancy use the express line? As you heard, they have more than 10 items in their cart. So that was our exercise for general listening. Now we go and we look at the intensive listening. Here are the sections. You heard the conversation one time. Now here it is as a close exercise, and you see here the missing sections. I got a few groceries that aren't on the list. No, aren't is a contraction. Notice the apostrophe there. Nancy, I can see that. We're not shopping for an army. This is a standard saying in English for a large group of people. An army, a lot of relatives come. You can say a whole army came. Andrew, I always do this. Let's see what you have here. Some nice fresh strawberries. Notice the spelling of strawberries, I-E-S. And now very important is to notice how to write amounts of money. You heard $1.79. The dollar sign comes first. You have the 1, decimal point, not a comma, a point, and then 79. So $1.79 or $1.79. Nancy, they always have nice produce. Notice that important vocabulary word. Why do you have all these cookies? Of course, something not very healthy. Why don't you like them, says Andrew. She says, well, I don't know, but she says, I hope you got a box of tofu. Tofu being very healthy. Andrew says, I think I forgot. Notice G-O-T, past tense. Where's the aisle with the Asian foods? Again, that word aisle. Aisle 3, written here best as a word, not a number. I'll go get it. Wait. This steak, S-T-E-A-K, a steak, a thick slice of meat or fish is a steak. It looks really expensive. Okay, a lot of money, huh? And Andrew says, well, it isn't. Again, notice the contraction, isn't. It's on sale. You have to know that on sale is an idiom. It means at a lower price if it's on sale. For just $3.99 a pound. Again, notice the dollar sign first, 3.99. A quart, we already have a quart of ice cream. Why don't you put it back? I'll get in line. I'm sorry, miss. This is the express. Remember, express is fast line. 10 items. We don't take checks. All right, that was just practicing. Some of you maybe had filled that out while I was doing that. Let's go back now to a few intensive questions here at the bottom, listening for details. Andrew forgot to get tofu. True or false? You should have remembered or heard that that is true. He said, I'll go get it. I forgot. Number 2, Nancy wants Andrew to buy more ice cream. I don't think so. She said, we already have a quart. She asks him to put it back. Strawberries cost $2.89. No, we heard they were $1.79. So that's intensive listening, where you're listening for particular facts. Let's go now to our next exercise, where we look at reductions. Reductions. Remember, reductions are forms of the word that are spoken quickly. Now, what your job is always going to be, you hear the reduced form, and you have to supply the correct form. Let's look at the ones at the top first. Notice the full form would be, let's see what you have here. But in reduced spoken speech, let's see what you have here. Why do you have all these cookies? Reduced, why do you have all these cookies? Don't you like them? Would become, don't you like them? I don't know becomes, I don't know. Now, your job is always going to be identifying from the reduced to what the full forms are. So let's do a few of these, and I'll show you the solutions as we go. We hear the conversation. The customer says, waiter. Yes, sir. Do you know what you want? Notice what you want becomes in full form is what you want. What you want. Customer, do you have the spaghetti with mushroom sauce tonight? Do you have is do you have? Yes, we do. Well, are the mushrooms fresh and canned? They're fresh, and the sauce has lots of them. Lots of them. Well, lots of them is lots of them. You see there, lots of them, lots of them. Customer, great, I'll have that. Do you want something to drink? Do you want something to drink becomes do you want? Do you want? Not do you. Do you? Customer, I don't know. I don't know. Why don't you recommend something? Don't you? Why don't you? So please notice these reduced forms. You should be able to supply the correct full forms from listening. We once again go to a pronunciation problem. And this is about teens and tens. Notice the difference in stress between teens and tens. We heard that in the last unit a bit, but now we're going to practice it. 13 and 30, 14 and 40, 15 and 50, 16 and 60. I hope you hear the difference in stress. Now your job here was to listen. I'm going to remove that so you're not tempted. So you decide for each of the following which one you're hearing, the teen or the 10, and then we'll check them. If you have the book, you can do this in the book. If you don't, you can do it on a piece of paper, teen or 10. We have 7 items. Number 1, we waited in line for 30 minutes. 2, my sister is 14 years old. 3, we've lived in this city for 15 years. 4, 60 people came to the party. 5, the groceries cost $70. 6, there are 18 students in the class. 7, I live 90 miles from my parents. Now these are the choices you should have made in the first one: 30, 14, 15, 60, 70, 18, and 19. Now I'm going to rush to the next exercise because we practice the same thing but in a different way. In this exercise, you see different pictures, and you have to find the right picture and put the correct number at the top. Now in your book, the numbers are not there. But when you listen, you can assign. You have to find the right picture and put the correct number on that particular item. So let's do the first one. You hear, this milk is good until November 13th. So you look for the milk, you find the milk over here, and you put 13, not 30th. Next you hear, I'm having a big party this week and I need 30 bottles of mineral water. You look at the pictures and you choose, you see the bottles there, and you put 30 bottles. So this is the exercise. You have to find the correct item and put the right number. Canned vegetables are in aisle 19. Well, the only one with an aisle is number 10, and so we put 19. We hear the market is open until 10:30. We look at the market up there, and we put 10:30. Of course, it wouldn't be 10:13. We look at the turkey. We hear about a turkey weighs 14 pounds. We find the turkey up there at the top, and we put the 14 where it should be. We hear about peaches. The peaches cost, and listen carefully, $1.90. $1.90 a pound. And please notice the peaches, and notice how it's written, 1.90, 1.90 a pound. We hear everything in this store is 15% cheaper, so we're looking for a sale or a discount, and there we have it, 15% discount. The store will close in 15 minutes. Well, we see that down there below. The store will close. And finally, by using this coupon, you can save 70 cents on ice cream. We see that right beside. So a matter of choosing the correct 10 or teens. That brings us to the end of the first part of Unit 3. Next time we move on to Part 2, where you'll hear a lecture about healthy eating. In the second part of each unit, we'll get longer and longer, and it'll become more important to get information down. This is called note-taking. So while we're doing this, it might be a good idea to have a piece of paper there ready if you're going to take notes, because what I'll ask you to do is take notes, and then we check how well you have taken notes. Well, that's all for today. I thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.